Happy Tuesday, everybody. It is November 11th, 2025. Just want to take this chance to say happy Veterans Day to all of these soldiers around the world, people who have served. Thank you very much. Let's jump into it. In this session, we're going to be going through the news of the day. There wasn't a whole lot. We're going to go through technical analysis. Sorry, spoiler alert. There's not a whole lot. And we're going to go look for trades, and you know it, there isn't a whole lot.
Disclaimer. This video was created for professional Forex and crypto traders. Maverick Currencies is a proprietary trading firm that employs professional traders around the world. Our traders trade firm capital and keep 70 to 80% of profits they generate. All trades and analysis in this video are for professional traders only. If you are interested in becoming a professional Forex and currency trader for Maverick, click the apply button in the video description. Let's break down what happened today.
First off, let's talk about what we did hear about today. We got the UK claimant count change, which is higher than expected. This is like the US jobless claims, where the higher the number is, it's worse. So more people filed for unemployment in the UK than was expected, meaning a weakening job market. We'll take a look at the pound. The pound has been weak, and it's continued to stay weak. It was one of the currencies we like short over the weekend. We also got a little bit more AI news. Again, there wasn't a lot of news today, so we got to talk about what was there. A company called CoreWeave that does data centers and semiconductors, they disappointed with their earnings outlook. Now look, they didn't disappoint that there wasn't enough business. They disappointed because there was so much business they couldn't meet it. And they had a couple of internal things that made it to where they didn't fill some orders. It was bad for the company, but really the rest of the sector's just fine. And then let's talk about these cryptos. We've been talking about how the cryptos have been underperforming to say, hey, don't look for any sort of bounces. That's definitely still the story. Crypto is absolutely underperforming. So let's take a look at what happened in the Forex market first. And the first thing I want to point out are just these numbers. These numbers are dreadful. Now, what I mean by these numbers, meaning how much things move today. Your ability to make money as a trader is dependent on how much things move. And if things don't move a lot, your ability as a directional trader, which is what Forex is greatly reduced. So imagine that you were a street performer and you knew that the crowds just weren't there at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. But you went out and you tried to make some money, which you can, but you're not going to make a whole lot of money for your effort. And it's actually probably counterproductive to you because by the time the crowd shows up, you're tired, you're worn out, and you're not going to perform your best. It's best to wait until the crowds are there. So let's say at 10 p.m. when the best crowds are there, that's when you go and you're present. This trading environment is not good. Yes, the pound was still the worst currency. We like the pound short. We talked about the Swiss franc looking like a good currency along with the euro. This is where the money's going right here, right now. Dollar yen, totally flat on the day. We come over here, equities, virtually flat on the day. Gold, virtually flat on the day. Oil had it up 1.7%. That's a normal move in oil. But here is the story. Crypto is weak. It rolled over. It had a little bit of a bounce. It totally rolled over and died. The equity market didn't. The gold market didn't. Cryptos absolutely did. And you can see Ethereum continues to underperform. It was one of the worst of them today. What does that mean for us in this market? So I'm going to take a look at equities first. And we saw this pullback last week and the week before. We saw that. And it came right down to the 50-day moving average and gave us a hammer candle. Over the weekend in the currency room, I said, look, this is a really nice bottoming candle, but we won't know until Monday's candle. If Monday's candle is a green candle, everything looks good for a bull pullback. And that's exactly what we got. And you can see, let's take a look at today's candle because today's candle tells a great story. We gapped down. There was a gap down. There was some weakness. And there's a little bit of weakness right in the morning. And then the buyers came in all day long and we closed up near a high. This is telling us that we are likely to get up to this last swing high, which is all-time highs, and we could break through it. We're either going to get up to that point and base, or we're going to get up to that point and break through. So the equity markets are back to being very bullish. Everything looks very bullish here. The problem is it is not really correlating with the currencies we trade. Crypto, which is usually tied to a bullish bias, is not acting bullish. We have things like Aussie, Kiwi, CAD that's usually tied to a bullish bias, not bullish at all. So I really don't think it's a great opportunity because there's not a lot moving, and the things that are moving, they're really moving nonsensically. Let's take a look at the calendar here. We have Aussie employment change. That's going to be tomorrow night. So we just don't have anything at all until tomorrow night. And then you can see we just have UK GDP, and this is not going to be released because the government shutdown killed it. Even though we might open back up by then, they're not going to have the report ready. Let's go take a look at some charts. My tone of voice that I don't think there's any great setup. So let's just go through them quickly. Yen is low basing. Okay, I like that. But right here, right now, is there anything telling me that the next major move is going to happen in the next 24 hours? No. We're looking at the next 4 to 6 candles. There's nothing telling me that there's a lot of momentum here. There's no real momentum in the dollar. It's drifting a little lower. Swiss franc, it is actually the only one that has momentum at the moment. We had a nice break to a new high. We got a nice 3 candles here of just high base. So the Swiss franc is the only thing that looks good here. We come over to euro. It's flat. It's pretty blah. We come here to pound. It's weakening. It had a little bear rally last week. It's weakening. Maybe. But again, nothing's great. We take a look at the CAD. It's flat. Everything's flattened out. Aussie, everything's pretty much flattened out here on Aussie. RSI is flat. Moving average is flat. Kiwi, flat, flat, flat. So in the world of Forex, the only thing that looks good is Swiss franc long. But remember, you got to have 2 currencies to trade against. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. You can see it is moving lower. And this is what I want to just point out. I mean, compared to the S&P, this is a totally different chart. Fall, we rally a little bit and we turn around and fall. All the cryptos here, just nothing is looking like it is good at the moment. This is our velocity scoreboard right now. And what you can see is a whole lot of stuff doing nothing. We do not like to trade when they're in this range. We like to trade when they're moving. Here's the problem. In Forex, you got to pair something up. So we do like Swiss franc and we do like pound and yen. These were our favorite shorts on the week, but they're just mildly bearish. And then we have these over here at -2, but unless you have a special account or you go into the ETFs, you can't really short cryptos right now. And I don't like that trade all that much anyway. I would love to see the markets falling along with crypto falling for a short. That tells me I'm going to take a look at one pair, and I'm only going to do that just because we're here. Let's take a look at one pair, but I really don't think this is a great time to be trading. And that pair is going to be pound Swiss franc. So pound Swiss franc. As you can see here, this one has got a nice trend to it. This is a daily chart, and we just had this, look at this, about an 8-day rally, and it was all a race in one day. That really shows a lot of weakness. So here we are. Here's a 4-hour chart. As you can see, we've got some big support here at 105. Yeah, right at 105 in this area. We just had a big move down from 106.20 to 105. Okay, I think we're going to have to spend a little bit of time here, but take a look at the price action. There is no bounce. Back here, we got a bounce. Back here, we got a bounce. This time, no real bounce. I really am going to like this more if we can base for a little bit and then break down. So I do like this one. I do like this one below 105.2. 105.2 is going to be the area, maybe 105.1. But this is really the only thing out there, and it's a mediocre trade at best. It's got the trend on it. The trend looks good. Everything looks okay. It's just not a great trade. Whenever you can't find a great trade, what that means is you probably shouldn't trade. Cryptos are weak. They might have little bounces here, but there's no sustained bounces. So you don't want to be chasing in after them only to get whipsawed right around to the downside. And there's really not much FX trading to be had anyway. So for me, this is a point of time where I'm just going to turn off the system, and I will come back tomorrow and check in when things have changed. Goodbye, everybody.